And we're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Real Level Up. I am your host or co host as well, Pat Nash. And I have a always welcomed, what would I say, brother,
That's right.
brother,
Absolutely.
friend, everything that is joining me on the show. This is going to be a fantastic time. So go check in, do what you need to do. I'm going to introduce myself and I'm going to let him introduce himself again to most of you. You know him. And if you don't, brother, please tell him who you are.
Hello, my name is Andre Gerard. You're a fit photographer. Been a photographer for over 20 years. I'm in the Atlanta area and I love doing what I do.
Yes, and you do a fantastic job. I'm just saying, if y'all think I look glamorous, it's only after he's finished. So, but we have the pleasure, you guys, of introducing someone. And you know me, I'm Pat Nash of Pat Nash Talks. I have a show on this wonderful station, our nation, Level Up Nation. But we're here representing the Real Level Up, where we introduce ordinary people with extraordinary stories. And we have an extraordinary story to share with you today. We will be introducing none other than Maia Miller of, I'm gonna make sure I get this right because she deserves it, of Buy That Feel, movie and TV producer. Wait until you guys meet this lady. We're gonna bring her up and let her talk about herself a little bit. But Maia, are you there?
Hello,
Turn
hello.
it on. She's there. She's going to turn on her camera in a second and you'll see this beautiful face that goes along with everything that she does.
Absolutely.
Oh, there she is.
Yes, yes.
I'm sorry. I just couldn't see her on my.
Hi,
I seen the
everybody.
sunshine. The sunshine is it.
Yes, it's here. It's here. Okay. So, I just scratched the surface of who
Yes.
you are. Can you tell everyone a little bit about you before we get in and we share what we know about you?
Absolutely. Hi, I'm super excited to be here on Level Up.
Like,
I've heard a number of wonderful things about this platform and just the people that you all highlight. So I'm grateful to be included in this. My name is Maia Miller. I'm a creative producer based out of Atlanta, but working all over the globe, and super excited to really share more about just the different aspects of creative filmmaking and just creative spaces that I tend to work in. And so we're talking usually independent films, but also live events, as well as podcasts, music, whatever you're thinking as it relates to creative platforms. I'm there to help make it happen.
oh, and I love it. I have so much to say. I'm gonna try to share this with my brother because I know he's on the creative side. I'm on the creative side. So it is an honor for us to bring you up and
Absolutely.
introduce you and have this conversation today. So I'm just telling everybody, please like, share, and be ready to comment and ask your questions because personally, I had no clue how much goes on behind the scenes of all these wonderful movies or TV shows that we see. And so to be meeting one of the faces behind the scenes and to talk to you, I'm blown away.
Ah, I'm
Mm,
excited.
absolutely.
Awesome.
So, Andre, do you want me to jump in or you
No,
or
yo, you go ahead and jump in because I'm gonna let
I
you
know
Tom.
he's like, I got
Hey,
it.
listen. I'm gonna let you go ahead and Tom Brady the situation, and I'm just gonna
Ah,
be your wide receiver. Okay, I got you.
So first thing we're going to ask you because I wanted to know this. So a lot of times I'll ask what I want to know,
mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
then people will be like, "Yeah." So what made you even think about this role and got you involved in movies or even because in my mind I can't even think of being behind the scenes and creating this stuff. So what were you thinking? What got you interested in this?
Mhm.
So I guess I first have to start about my experience of just acknowledging I come from a creative household.
Okay.
I have a beautiful performer of a mother who also just has really been an independent force herself. And so she's always kind of had to wear multiple hats. And so I grew up seeing that. Her name's Myrna Clayton. She's been on Level Up a number of times, and she's actually how I
Yes.
came across this platform. So super grateful for that. And so In addition, it really started off early, wanting to record shows, wanting to preserve moments, and really wanting to be a part of how to create lasting experiences. And the best way to do that, in a lot of times, is through film, and through ways where you can both see and audibly experience stories. And so I actually studied at Howard University, where I majored in film there in DC. And it was there that I just really saw just like this constant wave of energetic force that was constantly going on. We have some great alumni out of there. And it just made me really want to be a part of what it could be like to contribute to the Black creative space, and so from there, I went off to New York to really, it was like, it's like they always ask you that question, after you graduate, or if you're interested in film, production, entertainment, are you going to New York, you going to LA? And being that Atlanta was still in its, budding experiences of like growing the film industry, I decided to take my talents to New York. And there is where I really got thrown into just the exciting aspect of just independent filmmaking. I had the opportunity, and I feel like I'm just kind of going now, but like I had the opportunity of having three very prime experiences as soon as I got to New York. First, I interviewed at The View, which was such an amazing, every day seeing the constant, like when you have a well-oiled machine like that, you have to have great people behind the scenes who are helping it to be the long-lasting legacy of a program that is. Secondly, was working at ABFF, the American Black Film Festival, where I helped with a lot of the film and programming aspect of it. And so that being a space and a platform for independent filmmakers to show their work and to show all of the creative and just, dynamic ways in which filmmaking can be expressed. And then lastly, I had the pleasure of working with one of the OGs, Spike Lee. I got the opportunity to come on board as a first team PA for the I guess you could say reimagined She's Gotta Have It for Netflix. And that was where I got to see how independent stories can take itself and reimagine itself on the big screen in a way like such a platform as Netflix. And so that's where it got. Once I got into that, I was like, oh, I want to do this with my peers. I want to do this with my friends. And ever since, it's just been nonstop working as an independent producer here in Atlanta, New York, LA, and even abroad as well. I've done some things in London too.
Wow. Wow.
So
go ahead.
Hold on. So let me ask you a question. So what stories are that really resonate with you? What stories are you more passionate about telling?
When you say that, are you talking about the genres that I tend to attract
to?
Absolutely. I'm really into intergenerational stories. I think it's so important to be able to recognize that there's power, I think, when it opens, when projects open up conversations across generations. I also I have my grandmother was an archivist for the King Center, one of the founding archivists there. And I just really also just have a keen understanding of like certain things need to be preserved. And so you'll see with a lot of the projects that I've worked on, a lot of times they're coming of age stories. They're very, maybe period pieces, but oftentimes like ones that can bring up very fond memories for families across the board and all generations to be able to discuss in things. So
something that's timeless.
Yeah, and moments. I have this thing where I'm always talking about like micro moments. Like I love to me, it's like I love moments where I think an example of that is like Atlanta, the show. I think that is a perfect example of how, unique ways of how you can find stories in just a little bit of just like life moments. And so,
we got like 1 minute before we're going to take the first break. Okay. So on this break time, I'm going to tell people to run out and get some people because we're going to ask a lot of questions because you have so much experience already in every area.
This is about to be fun.
I'm excited.
And I know where it comes from now. I did have the pleasure of talking to and listening to your mom. So I'm blown away. You did, came from good seed or good soil, as they say. So we're out. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
Awesome.
Make sure you keep that same energy. my G, coming through the crowd raw. Big dog, you don't really wanna feel these claws. See, God loves me anyway, despite these flaws. So I gotta get a little buck wild, yeehaw. My God giving y'all the blessings, so I never tap out. No time for stressing. I'm confessing that I'm still learning lessons. When I get knocked down, get up stepping, cause I know how my blessings flow. Started from the crown down to the tiptoe. Holy Spirit, you don't wanna miss this flow, cause I'm talking about you and the whole trio. The Father's on top and they call me mijo. For my Latino, just Jesucristo. My God's bilingual, so if you didn't know, I'ma speak English, me amigo. Make sure you keep that same energy. Energy, energy, energy. Make sure you keep that same energy. Energy, energy, energy. Make sure you keep that same energy. Energy, energy, energy. Make sure you keep that same energy. Energy, energy, energy. Make sure you keep that same energy. Energy, energy, energy. Make sure you keep that same energy. Energy, energy, energy. Make sure you keep that same energy. Energy, energy, energy. Make sure you keep that same energy. Energy, energy, energy.
Somebody tell me whose man's is this? Flip flop, they crisscross, wanna jump when they plotting the whole twist. Well, hey, Mr. Big Stuff, now tell me who you think you are. Call Gene Knight, cause you know you're dismissed. I got a lot of enemies, they draining my energy, but telling my energy is inside of my energy. If I'm at a dead end, I'm counting on real friends, the type that will help you and open the Red Sea. Never make a promise that you can't keep. Nobody really likes to bluff, that's a wedge so deep. If you're gonna repent, then I suggest an upkeep. And if that energy drained, then throw away the whole thing. Sometimes you gotta cut the cord to keep moving forward, to be a valuable piece within this game and board.
Hi, I'm Pat Nash, and I want to speak to you a little bit about dreams, about hope, about maybe giving up or wondering why you haven't moved forward. Someone asked me, how did you get here to be a relationship coach? It actually came out of a need for myself and what I observed looking around after I asked myself a couple of questions. Why was I not doing the things that I wanted to do? Why had I gone through divorce? I realized I was not the only one. You see, there's a lot of us who stopped hoping, who stopped dreaming, who stopped chasing our dreams or going after our dreams because we don't have to chase anything. When we look internally and figure out what it is that's holding us back, the sky's the limit and you don't have to chase anything. You attract it.
Hey, this is Kimberly Howell with Angel Rings Music Presents. Keep it locked right here as we level up, giving a voice to the unvoiced with real talk that takes you higher. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
This is Kimberly Walker. Listen and watch Level Up each and every Sunday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Keep it locked right here.
Hey, this is Deidre Goodlow, author of Seeds for the Soul. Level Up, a new talk show broadcasting to the world. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
There are feelings you haven't felt yet. Give them time. They're almost here.
I don't know why you're looking sad. It's clearly fake, bro.
I love the ruby eyes.
Yeah, I told my jeweler to add that.
wanna get me a chain.
Why you competing with Rashad?
Ain't nobody competing.
I've been wanting one.
Boy, you ain't want nothing. This all about Marlena. I ain't slow.
Oh no, Dunbar.
It's been the same thing every year since 3rd grade. You forgot about Operation Lunchables that fast? Okay, Brill. How you finna get the chain?
I'm at the flea market on Glenwood.
How you finna get there? He ain't never been off Wesley Chapel without your mama.
I'm gonna ask Uncle Duke.
Crazy Uncle Duke?
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm sitting here going, I want to finish this. I need to finish this. I'm talking about the short film. We just showed a little bit of Glitter in Gold. Or Glitter Ain't Gold. We just showed a little bit, but I'm like, I can already get the idea behind the message. This is going to lead me straight into the 3 eyes of film that you talk about, that you stand for. So talk to me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I'm trying to see myself, and for some reason it's
okay,
not letting
I can
me.
hear you now. I
Okay.
see you.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to see myself too. Let's see.
Well, I don't know. Look, we could see you and we could hear you. It might be your internet. Go out and come back in. Meanwhile, we'll talk about you. It's going to be all good stuff. Meanwhile, Andre and I are going to talk about you. Andre.
Yeah.
What did you think about Glitter Ain't Gold? Can you kind of see where that's going?
Yeah, I definitely see it. I do. I see how that can be a crazy series. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely.
But you know what I think about? Us comparing ourselves. Even as adults, we do it. And I always say, we're not comparing and we're not competing with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
That's the beginning of death. When you're comparing and competing, just be yourself.
Absolutely.
And that usually will attract the right people. So
definitely. I feel like being authentic definitely attracts more. And the crazy part about it is being authentic, even whether it's good or bad, I think you still attract a certain level of people.
Yes.
Because you kind of meet them where they are. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that's part of the energy, like the whole theme that glitter ain't gold. Wearing something on the outside doesn't really reflect who you are on the inside.
Absolutely.
So a gold chain or gold necklaces or gold teeth.
Yeah.
None of that assigns value to the character of a person. And we definitely have to tell that to children, but even adults. I can see your beautiful face. Can we hear you?
There she go.
I am back.
There she go. There she go.
Awesome.
Yes.
There she is.
So you all enjoyed it. I love what the takeaways were. Those were so much and so precious. And it was so great when this concept and when this film came about. The director is Christian Nolan Jones. He's an amazing Atlanta-based filmmaker, but literally is also just so committed to just the stories of southern southeast region. I think a lot of times we oftentimes don't get considered in the conversation around creating very what would I say, just like very familiar and monumental stories in this way. And however, I think the takeaway is truly what you all said. It's about what's on the inside, and that was the main thing that he wanted to communicate with this project.
Awesome.
I love it. Andre says something important too. Andre, what was your take on this when I first asked you? You're like,
I can see this like being like so many levels, going to so many different levels, and that's great. That's good. Just off that short clip. You just see so much power in it. And
I love
I'm anxious. I can't wait.
With this, actually, it's funny you say that in terms of the aspect of it being expanded and going into so many different levels, because this is actually a proof of concept. Glitter Ain't Gold was our festival darling that went on to win at South by Southwest, as Black Star Film Festival in Philly, and also Atlanta Film Festival is also where this project played. And we're currently, actually, this is a proof of concept that is now getting ready to be a feature film project by the name of Kinfolk, which I think we'll be showing some facts about that later.
Wow. Okay.
So where can we see the short film? Is it anywhere where we can see it?
Yeah, so it's available right now on Vimeo. It was one of their staff's picks back in 2022, I believe.
Okay.
And so it's still available up to be able to watch. And the actors, oh my goodness, Priya, who you might recognize from, oh my goodness, why can't I think of the name of this show?
Because you're live right now.
Yes, and that's always what happens. Some Stranger Things. And then Alfred Lewis was also an amazing talent. They have grown up to just do some amazing things. But yeah, still getting its rounds. Glitter is still getting its rounds.
Wow.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go off and watch it so we can
absolutely,
and talk back and forth about it. I feel like I am on the set now. I'm in Atlanta and I'm in Oklahoma. I lived here for like 23 years, but I moved to Oklahoma a couple of years ago where I was born. But there is nothing like Atlanta. I'm telling you. For those
absolutely
here, sometimes you can take it for granted. But when you go away, I love Oklahoma. I love the people there, the vibes, everything. But it's something about Atlanta. And for you guys who understand, people of color doing big things and doing it in a way of excellence and doing it in excellence.
Yes.
You hear Black excellence all the time and you don't see it all the time. Be real.
Absolutely.
But when you see something that portrays us as we are in excellence and in a conscious way, trying to make our brother or our sister better and trying to keep them focused on the main thing. I think that's why I like your 3 eyes in film. I saw 3 words.
Yes.
With an eye. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. The 3 eyes for me are intention, integrity, and impact. And even from what you were saying around excellence, I think that is always a personal experience. You know, it's a personal decision of what you think excellence or success is. It's for us to define for ourselves. And I think that is what integrity is. You know, who are you at your core? How do you show up when nobody is looking? But also as it relates to, you know, how you do the work that you do. And that is something that I'm constantly considering when I'm coming on board onto productions. And also when it comes to, you know, it can be a very personal experience when you are collaborating, you know what I mean? Like you're talking really spiritually in a lot of ways because these are visions and ideas and a lot of times, sometimes even personal stories to people's experience. And so it's really important to make sure that you're taking that into consideration when you are building collaborative spaces. And even with that, that's where the intention comes in. It's like, okay, that's integrity is where I am at my core. But now that means in order to preserve the integrity of that story, I have to also think about what intentional things I need to put in place to make sure that that feeling, and that's what my production company's name is, that feeling just crosses across the board through everything so that there can be impact. Impact is only going to come with the intention and the integrity of the people that are all collaborating together.
I feel like I'm smiling.
Wow. So you know what? That's that's a perfect segue into what I was going to ask. So, like, is there any specific moments or a person that shape your storytelling approach? Like,
my storytelling approach. That's very hard, and I say that because there's so many people that I have had the pleasure of working with, witnessing even. Sometimes my mom always says, like, it's like, you know, get your board of directors, and that might be somebody who you found on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain things, no impact is too small or too big. You know, it's about being present for those experiences. And I think especially like when I do what I can, I would like to highlight is just some of the creatives that I want to highlight, that working with them. It's about building with a team of people that you trust, that is open to word to the name of this, who are open to level up together. And so I definitely have to give word to like Damn Right Originals, Nakia Stevens and Shayla Raquel, who I'm working working on, we shoot Shanae Campbell, as well as, like I said, Christian Nolan Jones, and shoot Spree Wilson. Oh my goodness, I can go
I know it's hard. It's hard
Right.
to name a lot of people.
But like one thing that I do really want to highlight, even in this moment, as I'm talking about the group of people that you work with, I'm currently working with an amazing director by the name of BP Edwards, where we're working on a documentary about the Eaton fires and how that affected the Altadena community. And so we met through a program actually called Find Your People program. And so this was the cohort that was like the first year that they did this in 2023. And the whole aspect of this fellowship was connecting people who had who had been working on their own, doing their own thing, coming together to be able to make a short film together. And so out of 1,500 applicants, I was one of 4 producers selected, where they had 7 different cohorts. So it was like 4 producers, 4 writers, directors, DPs, and this is through Color Creative and let me see, the Find Your People program. But even within that, and I see him in the chat. I absolutely love
I was like, Edwards had popped in.
Yeah, like it's when I tell you this is through Issa Rae, Talitha Watkins, and Denise Davis. They came up with this this process and this program to be able to really test the aspects of collaborative filmmaking on an independent scale. And it's like, if you can really find your people through being able to work together. I always say filmmaking is like camp. You're coming together for a common understanding, for a common goal. And what you're doing and what you're creating is really about how you work with people. BP and I were actually just having this conversation. You don't just want to fill roles. You want to actually find people who you want to work with to fill these roles, because that's how you create meaningful experiences on set.
Absolutely.
Wow. I'm like so impressed. So you have a new fan.
Yeah.
And,
well, 2 new fans. Okay.
Yeah, at least 2, and probably a whole lot more.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, only thing I could think of, Maia, I love the eyes that you pointed out. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh yeah, there they go. Yeah.
Yes. So I thought about your C's when you were saying that. I was like, wow, it has to be so cool for you to be a creative person in our culture with a consciousness. Do you know how hard that is?
Wow.
And you're not comparing yourself to anybody. You're not in competition. Look at all those C's. But you're creating your own space, and you're being you, and you see the blessings that come from that. People are getting the message. I was in Africa recently, and one of my newfound brothers over there in Ghana, he said to me, he's like, if we know people are looking at us in a different way because of what we're putting out, I would love to see movie producers showing something that is conscious about the culture, being conscious and being aware of what you're saying about us. Because people believe what they see. So if you see a bunch of people shooting up the neighborhood wearing chains and gold tooth and calling each other names, that is what people in the world see us as, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Hey.
Oh man, I want to speak to something. First off, I love that you went to Africa. I had the pleasure of going in 2023 during Dead Sea December, and when I tell you that experience
December,
changed my life, and even with you saying around the consciousness, like I do feel like I've always had just a very self-awareness to my process, but mainly because it's very personal when you think about, again, collaboration and creative spaces. I actually did a book club at the top of the year around The Artist's Way, the book The Artist's Way, which is a 12-week process to make you, the belief is that artists are not made and born, they're recovered and rediscovered. And so I'm planning on doing it again. But one thing that I want to say about my first time in Ghana specifically was, it was my first time really walking around as a Black woman, and that not being something that I had to carry on me. Like walking around when you are surrounded by people who look like you, I really have to ask myself, if I don't have to identify myself as being neither Black nor woman, who am I? And at my core, what ended up being able to come forth was that I'm an artist, I'm a creative, I'm a creator.
And that's all you had to focus on.
That's
because
it. And so you attract. You start to attract. Just think in that way.
Y'all go to Africa at least. Start in were you in Accra in Ghana?
Yes.
Go to Accra, find your roots. connect with who you are, I'm telling you, I'm so glad you said that, Maia. It
Yes.
changes who you are. It
It
changes how
does.
you show up in your
Yes.
community. I think
Yes.
you come forward with even more excellence when you go.
I
So you
would
know I'm
even
going to encourage people to
That's
go.
powerful. That's powerful.
I would
Yes.
even
You know,
add to that real
mhm.
quickly, just to that point, is like, I think for me, while I was away, it also made me appreciate being from the South even more. And I say that because, like, specifically the South is like, I'm one of those people. I consider myself a Southern Black American.
Me
You know,
too.
that's who I am. And so it's like, you know, for me, as much as I would love to be able to do the history of where I come from, I know, case in point, more than likely I'm from West Africa. And so to know that there is so much preservation of culture in the South, specifically in a way, it's like, I love cultural stories and I love incubator stories. And I think why I challenge and why I charge so hard around being a Southern filmmaker is the fact that there are stories here that lots of people have not even hit the surface. We see Sinners and we see the energy that Ryan Coogler was able to do with that. But it's so important to know
It's
that
crazy.
even no
That was
matter in
powerful.
your
That was
neighborhood
powerful.
or anything,
Yeah.
whether you're in Accra, whether you're in Atlanta, whether you're in Oakland, like, you know, wherever you are, like, there are so many unique stories that people can connect to simply because of I'm going to say it here, the rhythm of our culture, you know. And it's just, to me, it's like, no matter where you are, it's the drum beat might be a little different, but please know we connected.
And please know you feel it. Todd asked a question. One of the beautiful things about our platform, people who are watching us can ask a question. And he want to know, how long did the project take from concept to final cut? And I'm thinking he's talking about the short film. I'm not sure. I was trying to ask
Oh
him.
man, I will say it varies per se, because I get brought on as a creative producer. I get brought on in different stages of the filmmaking process. I've worked where I've come on board with a first-time director who did an amazing job. He was actually a musician, Spree Wilson, who then ended up getting into filmmaking, and he came up with a story. Him and another guy by the name of Rich came together to write a story, but then we had to go through the process of like, oh wait, there's the concept where they might come with a script, which I usually like for a person to come to me with a script already ready, so that now it's like, okay, how do we make things happen? Like, I'm very scientific in my brain, so it's like I like to break things down. But of course, one of the things that we have to also talk about is like, what determines how long something takes is also the amount of, oh, did I freeze?
You did, but
we still can hear you. You're
okay. Good. I'm gonna okay. We're gonna get that together. But the timing for sure, I would say, is based off cost. You know, like that will determine a lot of that. So
I think she read my mind, because that was one of my questions.
Like, this has got to be expensive.
So let me ask you: Is it ever a time where a concept or a film or an idea was pitched to you that didn't align with your vision or your mission as to what you want the audience to take away from?
Let me see. Absolutely. I think that's why it's so important to know what your style and your taste is. I'm trying to do a better job of sharing the type of projects that I work on, so that can also be a calling card of what type of productions and projects that I like. But I'm always usually open to hearing, because I always feel like every story to me is meant a platform to be able to be shown. It's just about learning your audience. You know what I mean? Like, and so I might not be your audience. And I think as a producer, you have to think about it. Building a relationship with me for a director or a writer, it's a long-term commitment. You know what I mean? And so when it comes to being able to make a collaboration or work together, you don't know how long you're going to be working with somebody. So you want to make sure that you're working with somebody where you have shared understanding, you share aspects around, like, share vision of maybe creativity, or have more curiosity around, or just being able to contribute meaningful notes because you have an equal passion to the topic at hand.
Gotcha. And that takes me back to one of your 3 I's, the word integrity. Because having integrity in your creative process, understanding what people are going to see and take away from it, is very powerful.
Absolutely.
Because you kind of shape the minds of how the subliminal part of it. So it's I'm loving this. I'm loving it. Thank you so much for being on here.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So, I've already shared it, and I'm checking to make sure I don't miss any questions. But you're really dropping so much knowledge. So if we don't hear a lot of questions, it doesn't mean that people are not connecting, it means you're hitting them. You're hitting the points, because a lot of people don't have a clue what it takes to do it. I think Todd asked that question because some time ago he promoted short films and went to the film festivals. And so now he's trying to be like, okay, how long does it take? Or something like what you're doing, how long does it take to produce that?
I would say mentally prepare for a year. And I say that because it's because the other thing is too is like post-production, depending on if it's a documentary. Like, for example, I was talking about the project that we're doing in Altadena right now. We have a quick turnaround. This project came about, mind you, the director has worked on it and conceptualized this around the time of the Eaton fires back in January 7th of this year. But we're trying to get this out and actually premiere it by February of 2026. But really, because of the aspect of the timeline, we would love to have it done for the anniversary. But the only way that can also happen, like I mentioned, having that funding in order, having your marketing plan together, having a supportive production studio, who for us is Color Creative, that is able to, do things to be able to ensure that it is meeting the timely goals. And also, let's be real, a good producer as well. That's also
absolutely.
Yeah, you had a cheerleader a few minutes ago. They're like, "Go, Maia." There you go. Milan Murphy.
Yes, Milan.com. Yes. The filmmaker herself and recent musician. I love multi-hyphenates and the way in which, like, I feel like my mom always used to say, Maia, you're creative, you just chose film. But I feel like when it really comes to it, it's like the minute that you allow yourself to not be held onto a box or a leash of any sort, you will find and discover that we are creatives in so many ways. That's why I started going by creative producer and not just a film producer, because it's like I'm so much more than a category,
Yeah.
So let me ask you.
We're both going, yes. Go ahead, Andre. We're both going, yes.
So let me ask you, so how do you balance being with the artistic vision versus budget? How do you balance that out? How do you balance that?
What do you mean when you say balance it out?
So if you have a vision, if you have a direction that you want the film to go into, but you already had a budget that aligns with what you thought, but then you realize that this is going to cost way more than what I figured. How do you manage that? How do you manage that?
So I have a couple of things that I will say to that. For one, it's so important to spend some time with yourself in the beginning about where you want the project to go and what the vision is. It's about visualizing, manifesting what it is that you want for the project. I have this thing where I call the 12 C's, which are ways in which now I operate. And before I say yes to anything, I need to make sure me and the collaborator and myself are on the same page. And that's everything from the concept, the creativity, the curiosity, the cost, the calendar, like capacity, like all of these things play a huge role in saying yes to something, because time is of the essence and you want to be really mindful of that. When it comes to the film production itself, I really love very insulated stories. And I say that because of, depending on whatever your timeline is and scope, it's about how long you can be able to take to get it made. And so breaking down a film is really about, locations cost, how many actors you have cost. Is it going to be exterior versus interior? Those things add or, either expand or contract the budget. And so you really have to ask yourself, right for the budget. That's what I'll say. Right for your budget.
For the budget. And we still have to take a break. I'm telling you, it seems like every time we get into it, we have to take a break, a station break. So we're going to take a station break. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the budget and how you get funding for projects that you love and you care about. So we're going to talk about that from this break when we get back.
Awesome.
For all my people at the barbecues, backyard parties, it's your boy, Tony G on the radio. You know what time it is. Let's go.
It's a party tonight. Vibing with my people, bring the party to life. Hands up in the sky, we start the party off right. We in the place, early birds, we ain't tardy tonight. Nah. In a trance as the beat in our eardrums. Got the moves in my feet, bro, and then some. Gonna lose plenty sleep, only live once. Up all night, man, we lit, fam, no kids stunts. Karaoke session going live. On the mic, spitting favorite vibes. Reminisce about them older times. Bringing back them old school written rhymes. Celebration lit, and you know it's real. Got the neighbors joining us, addicted to the party thrill. Jumping off the roof in the atmosphere, we hardly chill. Yeah, we going hard in the place like an army drill. In the ranch with the dogs pouring. Cause a party ain't official with no George Foreman. Everybody on the dance floor feeling good. Cause we living for the moment, we ain't living hood. Soul Train line getting in a groove here. It's a bash for the old and the new years. Even kids got the moves to the
They said it was wrong to promote me. That I wasn't ready. That I would fail.
Those who have betrayed me must pay.
You're the first black agent. Don't be the last.
Revenge is all I have left.
The CIA cannot get involved, so you're on your own.
Aren't we all?
I'm a man who gets what he wants.
Just get me the money. You have 24 hours.
Hello, business owners. This is your fit photographer, Andre Gerard, coming at you with my 2025 campaign. The goal is to promote and empower her enterprise. Yes, the goal is to elevate women of color in business. On March the 1st, we are set to launch this new campaign, and it doesn't matter what your business is. Please contact us at www.andregerardphotography.com to book your consultation. Let's make this an amazing year. Follow me on all social media at Andre Gerard, your fit photographer.
Soy Udanis y te invito a escuchar cada domingo de 3 a 6 de la tarde Level Up, sube el nivel. Gente corriente con historias extraordinarias. No te lo pierdas.
Hi, this is Terry Cummings, 18-year veteran of the NBA. Keep it locked right here as we level up, giving a voice to the unvoiced with real talk that takes you higher. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
Hey y'all, this is Candace Stevens, State of Georgia real estate broker and founder of Day After Foundation Incorporated, where we are transforming the transplant experience. You are vibing with my people, Angie from the B and Mr. Scribe. So level up each and every Sunday from 3 to 5 p.m. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
I'm the best to ever do it, y'all still if I'm still breathing, not a rookie or a vet, put your hands together, hey, hey. Rising and shining, climbing and grinding, raising the rough, I'm a neighborhood diamond. Had bad luck, but it's all about time, and I never gave up cause the sun's still shining. So F what a hater gotta say, ushering a wave and I did it my way. Never been a slave, 9 to 5 ain't for me, I just wanna be free, but I know nothing's free, so here I am still punching the clock, waiting for the day when I'm reaching the top. Sitting on the throne is the view that I got, give it a shot, just watch, hey.
Ready, please come to the cafeteria, seniors to the front, thank you.
I'm tired of rapping for these old people. Can't control their pee. Half of them gonna die this week.
Let's go.
R.I.P.
What is wrong with you? Are you trying to get me fired?
Nikki, chill. They not even paying attention.
Listen, I know your career isn't panning out exactly as you planned, but you could at least show me a little bit of appreciation for getting you a gig. What?
Nothing, man.
What's wrong, Amaru?
It's me and Joyce. We over. Like, for real, for real. Said I gotta get my life together. She also said I look like an adult baby.
You do kind of look like an adult baby.
Excuse me?
Rue, meet Shy. Meet my best friend, Amaru. Shy just moved here from North Carolina, and he's slowly becoming a regular here at the center.
What's up, tiny human?
I didn't like your performance.
Yo,
Okay, both of you, relax. And Shy, where is your mama? Isn't she supposed to pick you up like an hour ago? Well, can you call her? I have a hair appointment in like 30 minutes that I cannot miss.
Okay, so this is another one. I think I'm gonna be doing binge watching for the next week or so. I just mentioned one of my brothers in Ghana, right?
Oh,
and he talked about consciousness in filmmaking. He's like, "Hey, I'm watching from Ghana." That's the gentleman who said, "Why don't we be more responsible so that our message of who we really are and gets out there?" So I think it's cool that he's watching at this time. So we promised we were going to come back to the money. But,
we need to know what
yes.
How does that get funded? Is it private?
Yeah,
is it
like
grant. Like how is that funded?
Oh man, there's so many different ways. You know, I feel like I've kind of gone through it in about 3 different ways, per se. I have done the crowdfunding way of you know, trying to raise money, which, you know, it's a very longer process, but it's really a great way to tap in with your community and make sure that you do have that rapport with them in a way. But it's also not for the faint. You know, it takes a lot of sweat equity to be able to manage a crowd campaign. Seed and Spark is a really, really great platform that I think really highlights a lot of independent films in such a great way. And they do this crowdfunding class as well that's included in the process, about like 10 episodes, which is so good. With another, I think, aspect of it is being able to go in with partners. And so, like I said, with us coming from the Find Your People program, that was actually think of it more of like a residency, a fellowship, where they already had the money ready for us to be able to use.
Wow.
And that, of course, makes things a lot easier.
A lot easier, yes.
With the timing that you were given. And so that is really exciting. And then, of course, I really do think there's the side of it, which I'm kind of learning right now, which is when you do have the story, you do have the team, and you're trying to find the funding, but this is for, let's say the budget is a lot higher, you know, in terms of when you start getting up to the $250,000, 10 million plus. And that's why I was saying before we hopped off is, you know, make sure that depending on where you are in your filmmaking journey, you are writing to your budget, you know, it's based off of the resources that you already have access to, but also the ones that your community already has, but you really want to think about what you need before you even go into writing the full on story. Because one thing is, it's like, if we know anything about Hollywood, things will sit on a shelf for a very long time, and we want to get these stories out.
That was going to be my next question.
That was going to be, I was going to go into that.
Yeah.
That was going to be my next question. I never knew what that meant, but I am going to highlight what you said about Seed and Spark. I think that's cool that they educate you on it.
Yeah.
And then Find Your People. I guess that's people who are partnershiping with you to create something I guess they bought into or they believe in.
Yeah, I mean, let's Color Creative, just for clarity, is a talent management and production company, and so they've done a beautiful job of kind of gathering really intentional partners to be able to be a part of really them supporting the independent on the rise filmmakers. And so this was an opportunity to be able to do so. But even with now, like with the documentary that we're working on, we have a big partner that we're really excited to announce. But I'm really excited because of that support and because of the groundwork that they had done beforehand, we're really able to really, you know, go full throttle with the timeline that we're working on, with the filmmaking process. Like, we're able to lean in when you already have that support and funding behind you, for sure.
I love it. And I'm just going to say hello to Kim and hello to Candace. I think Candace popped on too.
That's my sis. That's my sis.
I love that people are supporting and following you. And I'm going to remind people that even after we're gone, please share this. And if you watched it and you didn't watch it live, just put replay so we know that you actually did see it. And you can still ask questions because we'll come back and
Nice.
you
Yes.
know, and answer those questions. Even if you missed us live, we will do that. That's the beauty of this. It doesn't have to stop with today at this time. So go ahead, Andre. I know he's like, I'm just biting. Like what?
No. So, and do you ever find yourself in a situation when you want to collaborate with cinematographers or editors, or even sound designers? Do you ever find yourself, if their vision doesn't match your vision, is it a medium ground there? Whereas though, like you get what I'm saying. Like, is it a medium ground in the concept of creating when it comes to that?
Okay.
And are you talking about like in regards to continuing with collaboration, or if
Yes.
we're already on a project together?
Well, if y'all already on a project, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say, and this is why it's so important to have a very strong, clear-headed director. And when I think about that and why I emphasize that is like directing is all about the pivot plan. You know what I mean? And I feel like on the side of producing, it's like we're trying to make sure that the things are being done and done well. But when it comes to that creative integrity and that shared communication, the best thing that I can do is make sure that I'm advocating for both of their voices to be heard, but more specifically, the director being clear of what it is that they want, because they're the ones who are establishing that clear vision. And so absolutely have we had to have conversations around, does the creative vision still align? But what that does, and I think one thing that I like to really think about is just like, I'm always thinking about the abundance aspect of it. Like there are certain things that are out of our control. I've started to read the book, The Let Them Theory. And like, I just started to just be like certain things. And that's, I think it was Quincy Jones who said this in one of his books. It was just like, the world is not logical, it's magical. And I think one thing about creative spaces as a whole, look, because I can be as a producer, I'm a very logical person.
I'm just the opposite.
But you have to release control. And sometimes the most amazing things that happen or captured on a moment happen because you decided to release yourself and surrender to the experience. And so I do feel like when it comes to, especially, it's like you have to trust, again, what I was saying earlier around who you decide to build with and who you decide to work with. If you're not just hiring a person just to fill the role, you're hiring the person because you have a respect and an admiration for that person.
Right.
So you have to know that when they are coming to set, they're contributing not only their own energy, but also their skill, also their history of background and experience in ways. And so operating in a sense of trust and knowing that you created the right team to be able to tell this story, and we can all look, we're all adults, we can have conversations too.
Absolutely.
Yes, I was gonna say you have to manage those personalities too.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Trust me, in any creative space.
Yes.
I think we're all like, everybody's kind of like doing different things.
Yeah.
But you still have to manage what they call it, managing expectations.
Absolutely.
And managing
and also setting expectations.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I have something to add to that expectations. I have a friend of mine, Nakia Stevens, for her company, Damn Right Originals, a screenwriting label. They're the ones who are doing the project that we have coming up called Southern Fried Rice, which I know we're going to talk about a little bit later.
Yes.
But they always say, and I got this slogan from them, assume good intention. Assume good intention. If we are on set and moving around, if I ask for you to do something and it happens to maybe come off a little brash or something, just know that it's not because I'm trying to hurt your feelings. I'm just trying to get it done, and we don't know what people are bringing with them to set. And so assuming good intentions is a great way to just kind of ground yourself, especially when you're in collaboration with a number of people, especially when you haven't worked with them before.
And I say that is a good mindset. In anything you do. Assume, unless you show me something different, and then I'm gonna believe you the first time, or well, maybe the second time. But assume that you mean well. You mean well.
Absolutely.
I think that just clears your mind to be able to be open even to something you might have missed. If you're assuming they meant something well by this,
Right.
it wasn't meant
I like
to,
that.
wasn't meant to throw me off or being disrespectful. It was good. So I'm getting so much good stuff from here.
Yes,
From you. I'm telling you, it's a wealth of knowledge, not just in the industry of producing movies or shows, not just that. The whole process, kind of like Julia says, the managing process is
I
not
love that.
so important.
I love that.
Just understanding that people are people, they can misunderstand, sometimes miscommunication, especially in text.
Absolutely.
But to assume they meant well, I think it creates more cohesiveness too when you're working together. But you said sit in a space sometimes before you even get started. Just sit in a space.
Yeah.
Because I've had to. I remember I called it my my Peace Corps year. It was my Peace Corps summer where I just felt like I took on like 4 productions in one summer. Mind you, it was the summer that definitely catapulted my independent producing career.
Yes.
But my goodness, like I think of it like how Beyonce talked about Homecoming. She's like, I will not do this again. It was one of those things.
It just took too much.
Right.
Yes.
And you have to acknowledge, especially as a producer and as a creative in general, it's a very spiritual and intentional process, while also you're like you said, managing different personalities, having to manage a budget. We were talking about that. And so you just really want to bring your 100% into everything and be able to communicate what that capacity is. And so I'm very much so in alignment with that for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So I love everything that the work that you've done on the inside before you show up and help people put their vision or their project on screen.
Yeah.
And I love that you're listening to good teaching. Like Mel Robbins is one of my favorite people. And when you said let them, that's her book. I did 5-second rule before that, and I became a fan. So how much watching other people's stuff do you do, and how does that influence you? Or you just say, I'm not doing that, I'm gonna show up and
That's so interesting, because if I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a movie buff. Like I am not when it comes to being able to kind of go down a list of like 100 films or the ones that were being nominated for the Oscars over the last 2 years. Like I'm not so much of a movie buff. I'm more so about community. It has always been. And so for me, if there's anything that I look at as a reference or what I'm considering, a lot of times it's more so community workers and world builders in that way. Like I really love, like I think about, my mom talks about like Elaine Locke, who was one of the like main contributing financiers of the Harlem Renaissance. If we did not have somebody, he said, look, Howard of Love right there. If we had not had somebody who decided these stories and these people are important to being able to play a huge role in the showcasing of Black artistry, we would not have potentially known. Somebody had to invest in that. And so people who are thinking like that, Quincy Jones is an example of that. A friend of mine, we're talking about, the Godfather, Clarence Avant, people who are the, who understand that creatives just need, the support and the opportunity to be put into spaces to really catapult opportunity. And so I think in a way it resembles a lot of ways of how God operates. It's like sometimes you just need to, again, how we were talking about, surrender and see what can happen when we allow ourselves to, what you were saying with Mel Robbins, let go of control.
Just let go of it. Let go of it and do don't let what you have been given sit too long either. I think that's a step of faith. Don't let it sit too long. I hate when they say a project was shelved. That happened to a friend of mine. They were talking about investing millions of dollars. And before you know it, it was put on the shelf, never to be heard from again. Like, I don't know what causes that, but maybe that's why independent filmmaking became so popular.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Independent
Do you
filmmaking.
think that's why it became so popular, not counting on the big brands to take your project and put it out there?
People got tired of waiting in line. you know. And I was just having this conversation with a friend of mine, because I would say, like, your impact really comes from your clarity of your audience, you know. And I think there's this way in which, you know, like we were talking about it, like everybody has their own style, you know. One of my friends says excavating your taste. Like, you have to know what you like, and when you find people who like what you like, there's a level
That's your
of ways
people.
in which those are your people. And I feel like this is why I love independent filmmaking, because it's very grassroots, it's very on the ground. Like, for me, my experience actually comes from both studio work, going from like the bottom up, like a PA and a production coordinator. But then it was through independent filmmaking that I was able to wear bigger hats and more hats in terms of being an AD or a production manager, now producer. And so because of both of those aspects, I do feel like when you're working independently, and why I love Atlanta so much, I always say Atlanta's like a ground zero. Like, it's a great place to, like, you know, it's an incubator space. You're able to,
it's the Hollywood of the South.
You're able to experiment in a way that I feel like in certain other cities, like let's say LA, where their systems are so keen and
set.
Yeah, they're set, where it's just like you're like, just the opportunity of the spontaneity of creating cannot happen in the same way as it can here in Atlanta and here in the South specifically. And so I do feel like when you talk about, you know, independent filmmaking, how it came to be, I do think what's beautiful, there's an artist by the name of Jinin Kuru, who's an amazing independent filmmaker. This is kind of like the indie space of like where I worked with like Terrence Nance, and another person is Arthur Jaffa, who, like, for me, it's like your audience can come from so many different places. Sometimes it's not the theater. Sometimes it's a museum. Sometimes
it's
a
not.
film festival. Sometimes it's you doing something to just like experiment. Like, I got to tell you, I'm very scientific, and like I love social experiments. And I feel like filmmaking not only allows for people to have conversation, but also to be inspired in ways that produce and create action. And so independent filmmaking, to me, really allows for you to do that in a way that these big studios, they don't have the leverage to go so deep into the grounds of the community like an independent filmmaker can.
Yes. And that's what Angie said. She commented too, that there is an audience for independent films.
Absolutely.
And not to even minimize what you are doing in a full short film or a full movie. But what I think about microfilms, I think about videos that are microfilms.
Absolutely.
We're making videos. We're putting content out there that people are sucking up, and then they want more and they want more. And that can create its own audience that turns into production, like movies. I was listening to Country Wayne. He has created that for himself. He's like, you're going to have to just give me a lot of money to have me pull away from my passion and what I'm doing.
And the audience I've built already.
For Netflix or someone. I'm not doing that. I have an audience. I have people who love me, who show up for me. So it doesn't have to be Hollywood. Believe it or not, there is a couple of film companies that have moved to Oklahoma. They're creating that in that space. And I'm like blown away, like, Oklahoma making movies? What? So people have figured out there is a big audience for independent films and micro films, as long as people are impressed or want to know about what you're putting out. And if you want to know about it and it's close to your heart, you have your people that want to hear it too and want to share it. So I think I had a question. You know, I'm writing notes down as you're talking.
I have a question.
Because I'm like, man, this is creating more and more questions. Go ahead, Andre, and ask yours before I jump.
So let me ask you, filmmaking over the years, has it evolved over time? And when I think of how filmmaking is done back in the day to now, like you worked with Spike Lee, right? Before, right? And I looked at like how his films and his movies how his films transcended to movies, and we went away from it, and now it look like we're coming back to it. Do you see that do you see us going back to those roots?
Are you saying in terms of finally seeing what's been missing from what we grew up in?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm like, I mean, we can look at the TV scope, the movie scope, and really what it comes down to is like, let's be real. The audience is there. It's the distribution and buying powers that be that are the ones to determine what gets seen.
And the marketing too, I guess, of how you put it out there.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think because I will say this, as a person who's lived in, New York, works out of LA and is from Atlanta, there are tons and tons of amazingly talented stories that are out here and that match exactly what you're saying we're missing. But the difference is the opportunity. The what's missing is the funding power or the distribution spaces or even the marketing interest. Because even when you think about that, right? Like you might have there's a film that just came out by the name of Love Brooklyn. But one thing is just when I don't think I've seen too many big pushes of marketing in terms of letting folks know, unless it's maybe once a year if you see it, like Black production and people of color filmmakers, we are not seeing the support in marketing like it should be. And a lot of times, let's be real, we're budgeting for the, to get it done.
Absolutely.
Right? We're trying to keep to the integrity of the story itself, but then when you do not have the amount of what you need, it really does affect it. I'm seeing Todd's statement, talk about distribution deals and how social media now affects a project funding.
Wow.
I was just writing that down. It's funny, we're on the same.
That's a great question. I like that. Yes.
I was going to ask you, how is social media affecting that now? Because
that's major. That's major.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say this, I feel like I'm still very much so learning the distribution space. I have the pleasure of meeting, there's a guy who's been kind of advising me by the name Torrance, who is just superly well informed about the importance of knowing what scale looks like and what it is that you want, but specifically going into the social media, it's at our hands. You know what I mean? The accessibility of what social media does and what it creates is it's so easy to find your community there. However, one thing that I will say, going back to what we were talking about around crowdfunding, it's a consistent effort. It's a lot of sweat equity, and you also have to do things I know people talk about get those emails, whatever it is, because I do warn people about creating entire platforms on something that is not that is not your own,
Yes.
Right.
Own. Because let's say, I mean, we've experienced
that
when Twitter got sold or Instagram went down for a day, your community now no longer has access to you. And so I do feel when I do think about distribution in that way, it is very much so a very grounded way of okay, what are the type of where are my folks? How do I reach them? What kind of ways in which do they want to show up and engage with the project and things of that nature? And so social media is a great way, especially with TikTok, I've been hearing is a really more simple, I won't say simpler, but people feel a bit more free depending on where you are.
And it's international. It's really coming up. It's really popping out front. TikTok is.
Oh yeah.
I know we got a minute or 2 minutes before our next break. So I'm gonna tell you what. I see how fast this goes. I told you it's going.
It does. It does. It does.
Meanwhile, Miss Law was you are definitely the gem of the South. Ziloma, did I say it right?
Ziomi.
Hey, Z. Yeah. She said she's happy. She's happy this conversation is happening, and a lot of people are. That's why you have so much feedback. There are questions that people wanted to ask, and never had the time and space to do that. And so this is so important what we're doing. And I'm not going to even ask you to come back yet till later. But anyway, this is so important what we're doing because there's so many people who have this question and you don't know. I like to put this out there. There are people who would invest in these projects that didn't even know how to do it. So when we come back, let's talk about some ways those people can plug into and bring the money with the mindset.
Absolutely.
Bring the money.
Bring the money with the mindset. Why we keep talking about money when we come back? But anyway, because it's important.
It is important. It is important.
It is
important.
And I say these connections and people are currency. We need to plug into them.
Very much so.
This thing going.
Very much so. Social wealth. Social wealth.
Yes. So we're going to take a break and hopefully we're going to see some more of your work in these breaks. And then we'll come back and talk about how to tell people who have money how to invest in these projects.
Yeah, I think y'all about to play my baby project, my first one. So
yay! Okay, let's do it. Let's do it.
My people at the barbecues, backyard parties. It's your boy Tony D on the radio. You know what time it is. Let's go.
It's a party tonight. Vibing with my people, bring the party to life.
Hello, everyone. This is Pat Nash of Pat Nash Talks, where we have the conversations that create real relationships. I'm here every single Sunday, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern, and you can find us right here on Level Up Nation. See you then.
Hey, yo, that's my song. That's my song. That's my ex. She stole my song.
Dang, I would never let my girl clown me like that. So what are you gonna do about it?
I'm taking you home. I'm gonna crash this performance.
Here I am still punching the clock, waiting for the day that I'm touching the top. Sitting on the throne with a key.
You know, I didn't have a lot of friends growing up when I was a kid either. We passed this house like 3 times already.
Bro, I'm sorry I wasn't ready to go home, and you seemed really cool.
Oh, you sorry? Sometimes you just need one.
You know what you should do? You should just write another song.
Get inspired with real talk that takes you higher. Like me, Rebecca Outlaw of Tickle Mites LLC. Level Up, Sundays from 3 to 5 p.m. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
Hey, this is Shantia Warren of Hams Farm and Assurance Wellness. Keep it locked right here as we level up, giving a voice to the unvoiced with real talk that takes you higher. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
This is your girl, Deidre Goodlow, author of Seeds for the Soul. Listen or watch Level Up each and every Sunday from 3 to 5 p.m. Keep it locked right here.
And we're back. So we saw 2 of your projects. Howard was promoting the song Happy, and then one, It Takes One, or
just one.
Just one.
Through the Find Your People program.
Okay, so tell us about, start with the Howard Happy.
Yeah. So, oh my goodness. I love that Miss Grace and Angie decided to play this because, as I said, this was one of my first projects that I did that was conceptualized by me. It's super interesting because I say that this was more so of a campaign, more so than it was to be a short film or any type of viral moment. It really came about in such an organic way as actually more so like mental health promotion. Back at Howard, my senior year of university, I literally remember just feeling really like overwhelmed with getting ready to graduate, not sure what the next steps were going to be. And I remember coming home to Atlanta during the Thanksgiving break, which I never did. When you're off to school and you get your system and your friends and everything, I would never go home for real. And so around that time, I remember the song had dropped. And as cheesy as it sounds, when I heard the Pharrell song, Happy, it made me feel better. And I was like,
it did.
Wow, like it hit me here. And I was just like, wow, what is this? And before I knew it, I found myself dancing, and then they released the video and I was like, oh my gosh, like I want to do something similar to this at school. And so I actually ended up doing an anonymous campaign. And I literally just started dropping these yellow flyers around Howard University's campus called the Happy Project. And it was, do you need a release? Do you need to let loose? Do you need to, come back to yourself? And email this number. And it was called I think it was like happyproject@gmail. And it still literally has its own world, because once I said, people just started like going to what we were talking about before the break around creating and finding your audience. People just started reaching out. They didn't know what this was, what it was going to be. But before I knew it, I had a number of people sign up, and this project not only did it do way more than I expected, but at the top of the year, my graduating year in 2014, it actually went viral. We were the second school in the world to contribute to this before, the viral moments in this way. It blew up. It got over like 200,000 views in like the first 10 days. And then it even got onto Oprah, which was unexpected. And I just want to put this on record. They use my movement. So if you watch the full video, I'm actually at the end where I closed the project, and that randomly ended up being a part of Pharrell's Lego movie. And so they have my image in the Lego movie doing the end of his viral campaign when he was being interviewed on Oprah's show.
Wow. Somebody said
random, but I'm like, wow, it has a life of its own.
But that's proof. That's proof. A lot of times if there's something you need, somebody else needs it too. And it's been said, stop worrying about the money. You help enough people get what they need and what they want.
Absolutely.
It's coming.
Absolutely.
It's coming.
Absolutely.
The Fit Lawyer says anonymous campaign was brilliant. She got to use that.
Yeah, because sometimes you just gotta find the folks, and you don't especially look, I love us, but you know how we can be at universities or spaces that are really like, who did it, what org, what data, it was just I just want to find the people who are just down, who's down. There's no other buy-in about it.
Yeah, and that happens. I know Andre's experienced this too, and so have I. When you get into your focus about what you really want to do, and you let go of people that are not your people, your people will come. You have to make space for them.
You got to make room.
You got to make space for them. So I think it's interesting that you were feeling down. It made you feel good. You just shared what made you feel good. And all those people who felt the same way came along. It's bigger than you think a lot of times. You think it's a small idea. It ends up bigger than you think.
Yeah,
and that's what God works.
It's never trivial.
Never, especially if it speaks to you. If it's something you're serious about, it's going to speak to someone else too. You're not by yourself.
Yeah.
You
And
just
I
have to
think that's
find your own tribe, you know?
that part. Find your own
Yes.
tribe. And I think that also is a testament to just like my faith, and just, you know, when it really comes down to it, is it's like sometimes it's you just have to be the vessel. You know, the idea comes, and God has an expectation of what it's going to do. Again, we were talking about surrender and letting things go and allowing for things to just, you know, expand and be what it needs to be. And so like I would have never expected this project to go as far as it did. And it honestly became a big recruiting
for Howard
as well. For Howard, absolutely.
Yes, because I saw that. I was like, is this a promo for Howard? I'll be like, hey, I want to go.
Oh yeah.
Advantage of my resources. I was at Howard that year. I needed to do something for my senior year project. It was more so specifically just experimenting with what I had access to. And like I said, it went and did its own thing. And I'm just grateful that it still means a lot to a lot of people.
Me too. I'm grateful, but that's a testament to stepping into who you are, how it blesses other people when you stop comparing yourself to anybody and you just start creating in your space and who you are and being true to you. The people come. I think that's like it's kind of like magical, but yes, it's beautiful. You build it, they come.
Absolutely.
So look, I'm going to jump right back onto Just One. Was that somebody's mission or purpose to get that message out? Just One. And what does Just One mean?
So it's so interesting because, like I said, this project came out of the Find Your People program through Color Creative, and so this whole entire thing was an experiment, I would say, in the space of literally wanting to promote mentorship, opportunity, and like collaboration. We actually created this story amongst the group of people, and so, like I said, out of 1,500 applicants the first year, there were 4 producers selected, 4 directors, writers, costume designer, director of photography, editor, and I think production designer. And they put us all together on a team. And there was 4 different teams across all of those disciplines. And we had to come up with the concept back then. It's changed a little bit. Now they're in their 3rd year. And I believe some of the stories are pre-written, but we came together with this story as a team. And so the big aspect about it was like, sometimes it just takes one person to change the aspect of your life, to be able to give you that needed piece of wisdom that you needed to literally be the seed planted for you to take action into your future. And so, that's literally Just One, written by Yolanda Mariah, and June Cho is the director. And there's, like I said, a number of amazing people, our production designer, Vango Jones. Like, it goes deep. And I'm so grateful for that program as a whole, because like I said, the whole aspect, and I actually thought about the name of this episode is more so about like finding your people, you know, and with that, I do feel like finding your people, I was able to meet some people from all across the country because of this experience that now I'm still working with, that's come full circle with. And so, like you said, your tribe, finding your tribe.
Told you. Anyway, I just had to tell her, told you. Anyway.
So let me ask,
Go ahead, Andre.
Let me ask you this, because you're such a talent and you're so creative. How do you handle when you have creative mental blocks or self-doubting during production? Like, how do you handle that?
Oh man. First off, one thing I will say is, between projects, you need buffers. You need a buffer. You need to figure out what it is. But I also have this way of like, I'm really big on what I call them is like my self-care prescriptions. And what I mean by that is like, there are certain things that are unique to me that I need to make sure that I have on set. And when I'm going through anything that I know is going to be requiring a lot of me, because let's be real, when you're on set, and I'm sure you can speak to the same thing, Andre, when you're preparing for a big shoot or anything like that, whether it's whoever, it's like, how do I create an environment that keeps me grounded, that keeps me intentional, that keeps me present, you know? And so I feel like when you have a lot of blocks and stuff like that that are going on, I'm really big on like like, affirmations and making sure like, I'm one of my girlfriends, she makes these affirmation bags, which are so precious to me. Her name is Asada. And I bring that to set so that when I need a boost, or if somebody else is like, hey, what you got over there? Hey, would you like one too? I always keep a Palo Santo stick on me because I love like for me, you need things that like transition you from where you're currently. Like, you just experienced something that was maybe, let's say, very kind of staccato and aggressive in a way. What do you need to do to go reset? And so that can be, but at the same time, though, I will also say, don't forget to breathe. And as my boyfriend will say, drink your water. You need to make sure that you are doing just the basic things of checking in with yourself. Because there's this aspect to, we can just be so quick. Like I'll say this, I can speak for being a Black woman. We busy. We can be busy. And it is so important to make sure that you take a moment and check in on yourself, whether it's just for 5-10 seconds. You need to do that. And so when it does come to what you said around the mental blocks and things of that nature, I think it's really important to know what it is that you need. And then lastly, one thing that I will say on set, I always try, it's not always easiest when you're working with new people, but find somebody who's team you. You need to have somebody who's team you on a set, meaning whether it's your assistant and somebody you can come to and be able to express, you need somebody that you can be able to tell your, like, a moment where you're like, hey, am I tripping?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And trust they're going to be honest with you about it too.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
It's like you're my cheerleader, but you're also my coach. So you're going to be honest with me on this. And that's why I love you. I can trust you in that space.
I think that you should have people like that in every aspect of your life. Every aspect of your life. Give me the hard truth.
Yes, accountability.
And sweeten it a little bit. My personality, sweeten it a little bit. Be like, girl, I love you, but what you're not finna do is this. I'm just telling you what I
know. The people in my circle, people in my circle, they don't sugarcoat it at all. They and then you know what I'm saying? Like, we love you, but no.
Well, you got to know how that person needs it too.
Absolutely. I need the hard truth. I'm a person that sugarcoating doesn't work for me. I need it to be raw and let me see. Put the mirror in front of me so I can actually see what's going on. That's the kind of person I am.
So I done went way back here. I had to bring it all the way back.
Okay.
So I do want to bring up a comment that someone said about you, and it's so true. They're like, she dropping gems right now. So you're getting a lot of gems from the gym.
Yes. From a gym. I like that.
Yes, I did too. I was like, I wanted to say it so bad, but we were like vibing. I was like, okay, I can't just stop everybody. Be like, what he said?
I didn't see it pop up. I think I might have.
Oh yeah, no, I seen it. I was like, that's absolutely
Akeem.
Yeah. I love it. So, I love that. Thank you.
I do
Thank
too.
You.
Yeah.
Then he can tell you're passionate about what you're doing, and because you're dropping gems, and the things that are flowing off of your tongue is coming from your heart, because a lot of times that's what the word says, out of the mouth the heart speaks. And that's why we're so accountable for the words, because they give life, right? So I'm thinking about all these things that you said. Y'all, I made so many notes. Okay, I'm not gonna be able to give you
what the thing about it is when someone speaks, and I'm telling you, this is on every level. When someone speaks and you have to pull out your notepad and jot down notes, that it's gems. Because I have been in a room with people that will speak for hours, and I never felt compelled.
And you didn't even remember what they said.
Right. I never felt compelled to pick up this. But I'm telling you, I done had this to my hand. I think it's a part of my DNA right now, because I'm writing down so much right now. So no, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And thank you for bringing it back around, because you highlighted who you are by what you believe, impact, integrity, intention, and what you're doing without knowing it. The energy and the light and the passion that you have, it's a spark that ignites other people's passion. It may not even be in filmmaking, but it makes you say, let me stop being chicken and go out there and do what I know to do. And if I'm serious about this and I'm passionate about this, the people will come. So I don't care if I'm making ice cream, and I love making ice cream. I need to make some ice cream and share it with my neighbors or somebody, because people are going to come. And I'm not trying to trivialize what anybody does. But the point is, you're saying a lot of stuff, because my first book I wrote was 30 Days to Greater Self-Love. And this is not even a plug to go get it. But I know when you love yourself enough to bet on you, to listen to your heart and listen to your spirit, how many people you have blessed from following your passion.
Absolutely.
Yes, you see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And staying in your lane. And incidentally, that is a legacy, because your mom did that. It doesn't matter what everybody else was doing and how they were doing it. She's an international artist.
Right.
Because she goes where her people are. Honey, I love that. I learned that from her. Stop worrying about who is watching you and who is supporting you and who you want to support you versus who is supporting you.
Absolutely.
I hashtag my tribe, my vibe all the time on almost all my stuff that I do, because I learned a valuable lesson. I had to let go of 20-year relationships, because when they say everybody can't go where you're going, it's because when you change and you shift to love you enough to follow your passion, the people are going to come. But sometimes you got to move other people out of your way to find your tribe. And there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean you don't love people. It just means you have a space where people need you. And that can change. And so you have to be authentic and go with the integrity and intention of sharing your message. And the impact that it makes is life-changing.
Absolutely.
So I'm not even closing this out. We got more to do.
Yeah,
you know what? So you know what? I'm gonna tell you, because I'm telling you, like, so what advice would you give like emerging filmmakers trying to establish their voice? Like, what I know what you're going to say. I believe I know what you're going to say, but tell me, what advice would you give them?
Yes.
To emerging filmmakers, I would first say that being able to experiment and try new things and to explore your voice is a requirement to becoming a filmmaker, to being a creative in general. It's like we said, in order to lead or to be able to create and being able to even be open to your community of whether it's supporters or audience, and all that is going to come from you understanding your lane. We talked about that before, like, staying in your lane, but you got to know your lane. I think when I think about one of my favorite creatives right now who is doing some really cool things is Solange. I think about why I love what she is that she is like, okay, yes, I'm a musician. Yes, I'm an actress. But, oh, by the way, I'm a composer. Oh, by the way, I'm recently she dropped like a library of archives. And, it's just like, you just hone in on your exploration and your, like you said, committing to learning yourself, so that when other people are interested, it's like, you can see, it's easier to spot folks. It's like, game recognizes game, light recognizes light, you're able to operate in that shared. But secondly, I would say is, again, take advantage of the resources that you also do have. There are stories absolutely everywhere. I used this earlier when I was talking about micro moments. Micro moments to me are when you're driving down the street and you might look out your window and see somebody sitting at a bus stop doing something. You're just like, after I drive off, I wonder what's going to continue to happen.
Oh yeah, I do that too.
I love that.
Oh my God.
I love driving around the city, and in Atlanta, it's just like, it's true. It's a world in itself. So
it's encouraging too.
Certain things in Atlanta, it's just like, this is Atlanta. Welcome to Atlanta. But I love this city, and I love being from this city. But I would definitely say for emerging, and just, I wouldn't even say that, like, if you're doing it, you're not emerging, you're doing it. And so even acknowledging that, like, it's in a name. My mom always like is very strong with the aspects of like knowing the name of a thing, and names are so important. Like my name is Lovely Divine Queen, like that's what she named me. And so the whole aspect of that is like I have to walk with that understanding in every room that I step into. And so again, when it comes to, if you're going to call yourself a director, if you're going to call yourself a producer, if you're going to call yourself a photographer or a host or whatever, it's like, if you're doing it, you're doing it, and move accordingly to that energy, because nobody's going to do it like you.
And then understand, and like you said, understand that lane. Like, you know, when people call me and ask me to do video, I can do video, but I'm a photographer. I have videographers that I can deploy and it's going to give you the same quality and give you amazing quality. But I am a photographer, you know what I'm saying? So I try to stay in my lane, and that's just what it is, you know. But we have to get to a question. We have to get you to talk about Southern fried rice. Southern fried rice.
Yeah, I wanted to eat it. I'm just telling you, when you said that, I was like, I love fried rice, and if it's Southern, I might have, what does that mean? Collard greens and sweet potatoes have been added. What does it mean?
Oh my goodness.
But let's get to it. Yeah.
Yo, so oh my gosh. Okay. So I was literally, I'm in a group chat with the girlies right now, and it's so funny because I was just like, I really want them to be able to, I want to tell you all about this. So Southern fried rice, yes, word to Cordell Beckham, who's one of our actors in the project, but Southern fried rice was created by the showrunner, writer, Nakia Stevens. I've mentioned her a couple of times on the show, and she has a screenwriting label by the name of Damn Right Originals, and also with head producer, production manager Shanae Campbell. And we are doing this project. Southern Fried Rice is literally about an Asian American. I was gonna say, get this. It's loaded. It's about an Asian American girl who is raised from birth by Southern Black parents who goes to an HBCU. So you're like, you know, and so it's a whole aspect to this project. It's a 7-part series, and it's actually going to be coming out later this month. I believe on the 20th or the 22nd, but it's through Kiki Palmer's network, which she is also a really great proponent of being able to promote independent creatives and filmmakers through her platform. You know, she's been doing her own thing, but at the same time, it's like, how do you also share platform? And so when we were talking about partnerships and things of that nature, Damn Right Originals has been very active in both Atlanta and LA. And this is a project that is just very near and dear because we actually did this, word to projects that sometimes sit on the shelf. We did this project back when I first moved to Atlanta back in, I want to say 2019. And I'll just say, like, there were aspects to it that I know that, like, the showrunner really wanted to expand on, and you know, conversations around partnership had to shift. And so when this opportunity came about, it was honestly perfectly timed, because I think more so than ever in what's happening in the world right now, and the whole aspect around DEI and the importance of preserving our culture and HBCUs, the timing of this could not be more perfect. And so I really want to make sure the audience here on Level Up knows that Key TV is going to be dropping our project by the name of Southern Fried Rice at the end of this month. And it's going to be a ball. And the director, Shayla Raquel, when I tell you, straight up South Carolina bred, you know, she's a Southern girl, but she has come to Atlanta and has hit the ground running. And I'm just really excited for folks to see it, because it does have just some amazing talent, like you saw. And it's just, it brings up a lot of questions around identity in a way that I think would really be intriguing for us to talk about in a future episode. Who knows?
Okay.
Ooh, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. And we're going to definitely make sure we put somewhere where they can find it, because I'm not even familiar with Key TV, but I'm a Kiki Palmer fan. That girl is multi-talented.
Man,
she is someone that, to me, I don't know her personally, but based on all the little stuff she does, and when I hear people dropping her name, it's like she's like, okay, I want to do it, so I did it.
Yeah,
it's like she's not waiting on a title.
No,
like
she's not.
It seems like she has great energy. It seems like she has great energy.
Like, I'm gonna go do it.
Absolutely
and
does.
Like, she's bold in that. And I'm not going to overpass Barbara's comment, because Barbara Mitchell is a new tribe member, friend of mine I met yesterday, and she jumped on today to support. But as an older sister, she's saying to us, she's glad you mentioned self-care. I mentioned self-care with the book. you mentioned self-care. When you get overwhelmed, pulling away and having self-care prescriptions. I love that, which is detailed or pointed at what you need and what your desire.
Absolutely.
Because she's right. She's saying when you're doing what you love, your work becomes your play, and it's very easy to forget about your physical and mental self. Because I say all the time, I don't have to be a relationship coach. I don't have to be this. I don't have to be an author. I get to, because it's who I am. I love it, right?
Absolutely.
She's right. I just said it last night. It's like, okay, I have a headache. I'm tired. I'm feeling fatigued. Okay, Spirit, what do I need to do? Rest. Take a walk in nature. Things that I love. I'm not a gym person. I love outdoors, and Georgia is a beautiful place.
Beautiful.
Oh my God.
We don't get enough credit for being city in the forest.
I know. I literally left my hotel room and went outside, and I saw a crane. I saw some frogs. I saw a water fountain rolling down the hill. I'm like, I feel like I am in, I don't know. I feel like I'm in Ghana again or somewhere. I'm transformed into the jungle out back. So I'm like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. Whatever you need to be you again. It's self-care. It ain't about going to get a haircut for the guys and trimming their beard and, maybe getting a massage on the scalp. If that's what you love, yes. It's not even about getting your nails done or your hair did as a woman. It's what calms your spirit and refocuses you so your mind can be clear again.
Absolutely.
If it's a 30-minute walk, go get it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's self-care. So thank you for mentioning that in the middle of all of these wonderful ideas about just going and doing it, about following your heart and doing what you love, and how beautifully it turns out, even better than you think. Finding your tribe, finding your people and connecting to them, and getting behind what you love. These are like, they said, these are gems for everyday living and anything.
Everyday living.
And then just the aspect of filmmaking, I think what you've done for me, I can't speak for everyone else, and probably for Andre as well. You've taken something that is so far out here as a producer and a filmmaker and brought it back and sit it down and say, this is doable. If it is your heart, for those filmmakers out there that have decided that is their lane, you are a filmmaker. You're not emerging. You are.
You
step into it. And what I know from myself is when you start to do something, the way will be shown. Take the step.
Take the step.
Come and your tribe starts showing up, your encouragers.
Absolutely.
It illuminates your path, just taking the first step. And so Gem of the South, that's going to be your nickname. You have, as a creative producer and a sister who is conscious about the culture, you have opened up something that most people would feel is untouchable just because you follow your heart and you're willing to share it. She's here thanking you for finding the importance of finding your tribe. I met this sister yesterday, and I can tell you, I'm going to introduce her to people because she's part of the tribe. She's beautiful. She has my heart set. My heart to help other people love on them and help them go for what they want to do.
And kindness goes a long way. I'm very big on my signature. A lot of times when I would sign off on all my emails, would always say, stay kind. And I think your energy and how you engage with people, it really does create the opportunities that go beyond what you can even imagine. People remember how you made them feel, and that kind of goes back to the name of my production company. Like I said, is that feeling. And it's one of those things where it's just like, people want to make sure that when they are experiencing something, if they're having the ability to experience and come to something, whether it's on the production space or on the on the set or in the theater, how are you leaving people feeling, and what did they gain from the experience as a whole, you know? And so I very much so align with that. And you said something earlier that made me want to express a little bit more, was just like, yes, the what is what you need to identify. The how will reveal itself.
It'll reveal itself. It does.
And last thing I'll say to that is, I saw this because I have had my own issues at times of trying to do the most or doing a lot in terms of like, you know, perfectionism. We working on that, but you know what I mean? Because you know, but it's I saw this post on, like, I think it might have been Instagram or something, where it was like, make it exist first, make it good later. Like make it exist first. And I was like, yo,
I'm gonna write that one down. Yeah, my some of my mentors, I know you know E.T. and Jeremy, they were like, do it ugly. Do it.
Exactly.
Do it ugly. Don't wait till it looks perfect and it's beautiful. Do it ugly.
Say that one more time.
Yes.
Make it
exist first.
Make it exist first. Make it good later. Make it great later. Like it's you just sometimes, because we get in our heads around what is good, what is great, what are all these things.
Oh my goodness.
Like sometimes you just got to make it exist first, and then from there allow it to unfold. Because again, the how is where God operates. It's going to expand. It's going to level up. It's gonna level up.
It's gonna level up.
It's going to, but just get started. Just go. It's not ready, aim, fire. It's ready, go.
And also surround yourself with those, like you said, your tribe. Surround yourself with like-minded individuals.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is talking about ideas
and not just people.
And not just people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I love you. I love you, and I love everything that you're doing. And now I know why you have so many of your how would you say it? Your people that show up and say, hey, you're expressing who you are, and you're being transparent. And that is not always the case. And I do know the point I wanted to make when you said, just do these independent films. There's an audience for them. And I think Angie mentioned that as well. I think about Tyler Perry said he was tired of waiting for a seat at the table.
Absolutely.
So he created the table.
Absolutely.
And he is a testament to what you and everyone else is doing that is blazing the trail.
Man.
Make your table. They're going to come sit, and they're going to enjoy it.
I'm
enjoying it.
Absolutely.
I'm all for the self-reliance. I'm very much so on the Master P wave of no limit, do it yourself.
That's right. Like, That's right.
I love how he was like, look, my story, this sound is something that I feel like needs to be out there, and got to the ground himself to make it happen.
Did it.
So I completely agree. And I did see a comment earlier about projects if I do in Atlanta, and I definitely want to say, I
think Angie asked that.
Yeah, here it is. Yep. Do I create projects in Atlanta? Absolutely. A number of the productions that I work on is in Atlanta. Glitter and Gold was filmed here. Southern Fried Rice was filmed here. I actually also had the pleasure, you mentioned Tyler Perry. I worked on a feature film for the first time in this magnitude, directed by Joe Hatcher and produced by Denise Davis in partnership with TPS. And so we literally, you got to see when things are going to come out. The distribution conversation is a whole nother thing. But Atlanta really is a beautiful space to create, because there's so many opportunities to get involved in the film industry here. And I I was on the board of an organization, actually my mom's organization, Showability, where we just talked about that. Like, there is an opportunity when you are creating any aspects of film. There's vendors and ways you can be involved in the pre-production process to the production process. Like, there's ways for everybody to be able to tap in ways. And I do feel like a great way to practice, because sometimes you might not want to offer your house up for a month or two, but if an independent filmmaker has the opportunity to have you experience that in a scalable way that gets you to try out what it looks like to be involved in the Atlanta film scene. Independent filmmakers need that type of those resources. If you have a location, a restaurant, or a truck or something, you know what I mean? We need the things. And so it's all about working together in order to really help for that to happen.
Absolutely.
I don't even know what else to say to add to this. I'm gonna let other people invite you back. I mean, you know, I'm a guest host on this show.
Yes.
But, my show is about relationships, and I'm gonna do a
Mhm.
shameless plug because I would love to have you on there because we did talk about relationships. You did mention a friend, but I mean, you know, hey.
Yeah.
When you're a busy entrepreneur and you love what you do, there's a
Absolutely.
space that you have to make for that as well.
Oh my
That is not
gosh.
always easy. Oh my gosh, it's not always easy. But the right person understands that space.
Absolutely. And man, if you I was gonna say I could swoon on that because I feel like I have such a great partner, and you really want to have somebody who is attentive and open and curious about who you are and love to see you in your light, you know. And I'm really excited by just what I'm learning because in partnership, I think it really is a mirror. And you know, you might do a lot of practicing on your own and doing the self work, but it's not until you are really across from somebody who is connected in a vulnerable, communicative way. And so I would love to come on to your show. That sounds exciting.
We're not talking about Level Up right now. We're talking about Pat Nash Talks, but they invited you back too.
Yes.
The point is, I love that you're saying that because I just spoke to a very productive, very hard driving sister today, and the first comment was, "I don't have time for that." And I said, "You don't understand. Relationships are currency, baby. You really want to go to that next level?
Absolutely.
Find you one that understands that, and it makes the load easier. I'm sorry, it does. It makes the load easier." So
they may not fully understand, but if they love you, they're gonna love you. They're gonna support and love what you got going on.
Yes, and they may not even know everything that entails, but they know you, and that's enough. And so they should be the number one fan. Look, I don't care what anybody else say, and what that's my person. So please follow her.
Yes.
On IG, you're at
Auntie Mai.
Auntie Mai.
Yes.
And on Facebook, they can find you as Maia Miller.
Maia Miller, and on LinkedIn as well. And it's so funny. I just want to put this on record because people are like, why auntie? Why auntie? And
yes, I wanted that too.
Auntie Mai, it was funny. I worked on a project with the same director that I did Glitter with back in Philly. It was called Print Shop, and one of the actors there, you know, I was newly actively working as a production manager, and one of the actors was just like, look, I feel like I can always come to you. You gonna handle something. If I have a question, if I need an answer, if I need something, you always got it. And so get this though, he actually jokingly started calling me mom. He would be like, mom, and it was so funny because when I came back here, this is my mama. This is who I come from. My mom was like, I was like, yeah, I was doing so well. One of the actors was calling me mom, and she was like, hold on now, as a woman,
you're not gonna want that.
You don't want nobody calling you mama. You are doing your job and you are doing it well. And so I, being the person that I am, love community.
Came up with the creative name.
I was like, well, you know what though? At least with an auntie, we get to give you back because I'm gonna tell you what you need to hear. I'm gonna give it to you straight.
Give you back to your parents.
And so literally, I just was like, you know what? And I fall into the trope all the time. Like I give very much so that in certain ways. But I love it, and it's just the thing that I go by at times. But yeah,
well, we love you. You're a nurturing spirit, auntie. So yes.
Well, auntie.
Maia's cool.
Hey, Maya, do me a favor. Like when you get a minute, tap into my studio so we can get that profile picture together. Okay.
Listen, it's
girl,
I don't know
it's
if y'all
magic.
saw it's a little outdated.
I got you.
New look now.
Girl,
I got you.
It's magic, girl. It's magic. Trust me, I've been in there a couple times.
I love that. I would love that. And yes, this has been so great. I'm so glad that my mother even introduced me to this platform and Level Up. I just know I'm excited for the opportunity to come back. I saw Miss Angie and Grace in the comments like, come back. I am so down for that. And this was very much so like it felt so natural and organic. And so thank you, Pat, Andre, like y'all, this felt very comfortable. It felt like home. I felt so in my own living room, which I am.
Yes. Look, well, you're our people. When you find your people, that's how it should feel.
Absolutely.
So yeah, you're our people. So you guys, please like, share. You know somebody that needs some of these gems that were dropped. So if you care about somebody, share this show because they can see it. That's the beauty of it being out here. This is not going to be coming back. It's going to keep going and keep going and keep going. And we're going to plug into your projects. And we're going to follow you and your success.
Please.
Just invite us to the Emmy party or whatever you get. Just invite us out. Don't forget about the peeps. You know, when you know, I don't think
absolutely. We are looking actually with the Southern Fried Rice, Southern Fried Rice project. We're actually looking to be able to partner with different HBCUs and different universities because we really want to get folks to kind of, again, building our audience, but wanting folks to be there to have the conversation about the importance of HBCUs. So want to put that out there for any education.
I'm going to tap into everybody
administration who's watching this. We would love to be able to partner and have like a screening there and we can bring the filmmakers out.
I will share with all my sorority friends and all of my HBCU educators and alumni. And it's going to be a big party.
And our main character does pledge in the our Asian American
What did they pledge? What did they
Well, see, everything which I love, the screenwriter is so amazing. Everything was created and reimagined. And so, like, this is University.
So that was made
up. Totally different. They're the Woe Girls. And so it's very much so they have a sign. It's real. It's cute.
Girl, I'll be trying to find them. Like, where are they so I can join?
I love it.
We might have to create that for real. But anyway, that's how I think. So, so that's it. And see what I'm saying? It comes so fast.
It does.
We have so much more we can talk about and tap into. So it has been outstanding.
Yes.
As Level Up does and Level Up Nation. What they do is outstanding. Absolutely. And what we do, why am I saying they? Part of what we do is outstanding. What we do. And so so we'll have you back as often as you'll come. And we will promote you and what you're doing because we love it. And we're family. So with that being said, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. So appreciate
and
you.
showing up in your authenticity and blessing so many people. And you guys will have her back. Meanwhile, please share because she had a lot of great stuff to share in life. So please share this show with everybody you know. Oh, that was a rhyme. Anyway, so
we want to thank everybody that contributed to the conversation today. Yes, definitely.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you for all the love and action in the comments. We appreciate it. I appreciate it for sure.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we're going to turn it over to our producers and we're going to ride this out and we'll see you next time on Level Up Nation.
Absolutely.
Kinfolk. As a person, you can find love anywhere on the east side. It's truly an authentic, unique place that I haven't experienced anything like it anywhere else.
The east side just really, like, you have to have grown up there to just get it. Like, it's just one of them places special.
You know what I'm saying? East side, this shit don't stop, man. You already know, man. We the best side if you ask me. We've been killing everything. We been.
Kinfolk to me mean like
family, friends, partners, the people that you share a good relationship with.
Folks you tied in with.
People that you've been rocking with, that's solid.
The times that when you really need them, they're there.
Nigga, you my nigga then. Twin. Thick or thin. I was a kid when my brother went in. Now you little brother the man. Kinda like Pac in the butter rim. Couple M's, cut a check. Cut the film. I got that Glock for my brother now. I spin a block for my brother now. I did a lot for my brother now. You better watch for my brother now. You gotta watch my bros. I'm finna cop for my brother now. You call the cops on my brother now. You don't know part of them struggling. That shit ain't nothing about nothing. If my brother say let's slide, well then my sister sliding too. It ain't no slipping on this side. I got my grip and found my groove. And if they blitzing on the squad, I swear to God it's bad for you. When there's nothing else they thought I would do. My brothers ride through. My brothers ride through. My brothers ride through. This for my
kinfolk.
Don't get no realer than the East, man. We adding extra seasoning to the city. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody else, but ain't nobody doing it like the East.
I feel like our side is built based off of the foundation of love, though. Everybody show love to each other, and everybody got each other back.
All of those things make up who we are, who you are. It's the history, and you don't want to lose that.
That's that on that, Jack.
Niggas know about the dirty side. You niggas know about the dirty side. Yeah, the dirty side. This club, we're gonna go all night. We're gonna light it up like it's dynamite. 'Cause I told you once, now I told you twice. We gon' light it up like it's dynamite.
Kiss, yeah, so hot, won't let your pussy pose. Oh, 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 oh.
I got them apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur, The whole club was looking at her. Oh, she hit the floor, Next thing you know, she got low, 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 low.
In the name of love, before you break my heart.
For all my people at the barbecues, backyard parties. It's your boy Tony D on the radio. You know what time it is. Let's go.
Hi, I'm Pat Nash, and I want to speak to you a little bit about dreams, about hope, about maybe giving up or wondering why you haven't moved forward. Someone asked me, how did you get here to be a relationship coach? It actually came out of a need for myself and what I observed looking around after I asked myself a couple of questions. Why was I not doing the things that I wanted to do? Why had I gone through divorce? I realized I was not the only one. You see, there's a lot of us who stopped hoping, who stopped dreaming, who stopped chasing our dreams or going after our dreams because we don't have to chase anything. When we look internally and figure out what it is that's holding us back, the sky's the limit, and you don't have to chase anything. You attract it.